Good day, everyone. I am Lynette C. Palco together with my group mates, Mr. Raven Justin Molino and Miss Pedasa Salar. Now we will be discussing the case study entitled Empowering the Community Through the Extension Services of a Teacher Education Institution in the Philippines. Now let's proceed. Now, for the introduction, this study focuses on the importance of community extension services in empowering communities, particularly in rural areas. Higher education institutions, including teacher education institutions, are mandated by CHAD to extend their services beyond the classroom. Now, in response, the College of Teacher Education of Nueva Vizcaya State University implemented Project Health and Project KKK. These programs aim to improve health awareness, literacy, and livelihood opportunities in the partner community. This case study evaluates how effective these extension services were in addressing community needs. Now for the objectives of the study. The study was guided by four main objectives. First, it examined how actively the beneficiaries and implementers participated in the extension projects. Second, it identified the benefits gained from the programs. Third, it determined the challenges encountered during implementation. Lastly, it assessed the overall impact of the extension services on the community. These objectives helped evaluate the effectiveness of the Project Help and KKK. The study employed a descriptive survey research design using a validated questionnaire. The instrument achieved a Cronbach's alpha of 0.89, indicating high reliability. Respondents include 45 faculty members who served as the implementers, and the 200 beneficiaries composed of teachers, parents, barangay officials, and out-of-school youth. The data were analyzed using the mean to describe engagement, benefits, problems, and overall impact. Proper consent and official approvals were secured prior to data collection.
The results and discussion presents the major findings of the study, and it focuses on four key areas: the extent of engagement of the participants, the level of benefits they received, the problems they encountered during the implementation, and the overall impact of the extension projects on the community. First is the extent of engagement. The extent of engagement in both Project Health and Project KKK was consistently high to very high. This means that the participants, including both the implementers and the beneficiaries, were actively involved in the different activities offered by the programs. Under the extent of engagement is the engagement in Project Help, and it was rated from high to very high across its various activities. And community members actively joined cleanup drives, health awareness sessions, and hygiene demonstrations, showing strong interest in caring for their environment and also for their personal well being. They also participated in climate change seminars and herbal gardening workshops, which helped them gain useful knowledge and skills. So, physical fitness activities like Zumba, along with supplemental feeding programs, were also well attended. Engagement in the literacy program was also very strong. Students actively joined after class intervention sessions, which really helped improve their learning, and the instructional materials provided encouraged them to participate more during lessons. So, the distribution of school supplies supported the learners' needs, while the office supply assistance helped teachers carry out their tasks effectively. So, because of these efforts and the active involvement of everyone, the implementers rated the overall engagement in the literacy program as very high. Next is the engagement in Project KKK, and it was also very high as many participants took part in the different skills training sessions offered by the program. And this included soap making, organic vinegar making, food processing, proper food handling, and silkscreen printing. So, community members were eager to join because these hands on activities taught practical skills that could really help them earn additional income. So, their active participation shows that the livelihood program was relevant, useful, and well received by the community. Moving on to the level of benefits. So, the level of benefits gained from both Project Help and Project KKK was rated high by the participants. The programs contributed to improving the community's health and environmental awareness through activities that promoted proper hygiene and responsible waste management. They also strengthened students' literacy skills through tutorials, learning materials, and other academic support. So, in addition, the livelihood trainings provided practical, income generating skills that helped families explore new opportunities for earning. So, the projects delivered meaningful and helpful benefits to the community. Under the levels of benefits include the benefits from Project Help. Participants became more aware of proper waste management and how to take care of their health. Herbal gardening taught them natural ways to treat minor illnesses. Children learn good hygiene habits like proper hand washing. Parents also learn better ways to guide and care for their children at home. In the literacy program, students became better in reading, writing, and also math. They were more active during lessons thanks to the provided instructional materials and tutorial sessions. And parents also became more involved because they practiced reading with their children at home. So, overall, the literacy program greatly improved students' learning. The last one is a Project KKK, which helped improve the economic condition of the community. So, participants learned new livelihood skills, giving them opportunities to earn extra income. So, the barangay council also became more aware of how to support these livelihood activities. The project especially helped those who are financially struggling by giving them useful and practical skills.
My name is Raven Justin B. Molino, and I will be reporting on the extent of problems encountered of the projects as evaluated by the beneficiaries and implementers as well as others. So let us start with the numbers. As you can see, there is the mean and there is the QD. And below, you can see the equivalent of these ratings. So 4.50 to 5.0, it means to a very little extent, MVLE. Meanwhile, 3.50 to 4.49 means little extent, LE. 2.50 to 3.49 means to a moderate extent, ME. 1.50 to 2.49 to a great extent. And finally, 1.0 to 1.49 means to a very great extent. So, as for number one, the overall QD is ME to a moderate extent. Meanwhile, 2 or 3 is LE. The 4, of course, is to a great extent. So meaning this is number 4 is a major problem encountered. And so number 5 is LE to a little extent. So what does this mean? Of course, this means that number 4 is a problem encountered by both beneficiaries and implementers in the field. Now, based on Table 3, we could successfully determine the biggest challenge, which is number 4. Number 4 is the most severe problem, and it was the lack of internal or external funding needed to keep the projects running, rated as great extent, as you've seen from the previous table. And other minor difficulties are mostly less severe. This included implementers having to make irregular visits due to their heavy teaching schedules, difficulty organizing or gathering local community members, and lastly, inconsistent monitoring and evaluation of activities. Looking at table 4, this means that the overall QD for numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4 are H, which is high. As for 5, 6, 7, and 8, the general QD or rating from both implementers and both the participants, the general consensus is that it's rated as H, which is high. And for the last part of table 4, which is number 9, the general consensus is VH, which is very low. So what does this mean? It means that these numbers go up from high to very low. Number 9 specifically is considered as very low from both implementers and beneficiaries. Now, proceeding with the overall impact of the extension projects. This from the table that we have just discussed, this shows that the services were evaluated to a high overall impact on the community. So it shows that the result showed that community was empowered and the life of its residents were uplifted. Second, the program was highly successful in delivering basic literacy programs, which was rated very high. This helped residents become functional citizens. And lastly, the services were viewed as relevant, addressing the community's needs and providing useful information and training to empower the people. Now, proceeding with conclusion and recommendation, we can conclude that the college's Project Help and KKK were successful. Both providers and consumers were deeply engaged, and participants benefited immeasurably. Despite the minor administrative issues, the services were considered acceptable, inspiring community transformation. And as for our recommendation, policymakers should carry out a thorough assessment to address responsibility and accountability issues and secure sustained beneficial intervention to maintain quality extension services. Now, now that we have discussed it, we are finally in the end. Thank you very much for listening to our case study, and may you have a very good day.